Greetings. Today's video is going to feature my homemade Leslie speaker. I'm sure many of you are familiar with these. They usually reside in a very large cabinet that sits next to a Hammond or Baldwin organ. They have a wonderful sound effect. The problem being they're usually so huge and so bulky that they're really not worth the effort to try and move around. So I made a streamlined one that's very light. You can grab a hold of it right here and just carry it like a suitcase with one hand. This is not a completely original idea. There are plenty of these on the internet. Some of my approach is, I think, a little unique. And I think you might get a kick out of it. But anyway, I'm going to give you a tour of this thing physically, and then we're going to listen to it. And if you haven't ever heard of Leslie before, you're in for a real treat. First off, I got this on eBay, and I can't remember, it was like $65 or $85. And what you get is this black board, but it's much larger. It's about 4 inches longer and wider on each side, so it's considerably larger than it needs to be. I cut it down to make it just as small as possible, and I rounded the edges because I'm prone to banging my head into every sharp object that I can find. There is a 8-inch speaker on this one. You can buy them. Some of them have 10-inch, some of them have 12-inch speakers. This one came with an 8. It's a 4 ohm, 328 is Utah. 8 is for 1968, the 38th week in 1968. I thought, oh geez, I don't want an 8-inch speaker, but this thing, it is a wonderful speaker. It works perfectly, and it can take quite a bit of input. Down here is how you control the tension on the belt. It's like a big fibrous O-ring that goes around. This is going to go to a larger pulley that's under here that controls like a hamster wheel that we're going to look at underneath in just a minute. But to adjust the tension, you just unscrew this and pull it so that there's more tension on the belt. And it's critical, the belt tension, it has to be tight enough so that it doesn't slip, but loose enough so you don't overheat the motor. So you really have to be pretty careful about that. I made this dashboard out of just a piece of black like plexiglass, and I've got a double throw switch. In one direction, when I flip it, the motor will just run at full speed. When I flip it in the other direction, it activates this fan speed control so that I can regulate the speed from very, very slow, maybe like 10 RPM, all the way up to full speed. And this is the input jack for the guitar or any type of musical instrument that you plug in, and it's going to come over here and feed into the speaker. There is no amplifier with this. I think originally in the big cabinets they had amplifiers, but I just use a small portable guitar amplifier. I'll show you when I demonstrate how this thing sounds, and we're going to plug the guitar amplifier into this. They come with this big cable. I converted the cable from, this is the way that this unit used to communicate with the organ. I just changed this into a power cable so that I can, when I'm going to move this around, I just pull this out, and then there's no wires or anything dragging the floor or for you to trip over. I just pull this out, roll it up, and then this unit can be grabbed here at the side and picked up and carried around like a medium weight suitcase. Under here is the motor. It's a fairly stout motor, and this is the key to the whole thing. It's really a dense styrofoam, looks like a cheese wheel that spins around with this kind of a sound scoop right here. And the best way, or the best analogy I can make for this when it's spinning around, is that the music is going to be forced downward by the speaker, and it's going to be coming out this chute. And as the wheel spins, it reminds me of a lawn sprinkler that's spinning around in circles and spraying water all the way around the perimeter, except in this case it's going to be sound. And the effect is very unusual. It's sort of like a tremolo effect, but it's also a Doppler effect. we're going to be varying not only the volume of the sound, because it's going to be a lot louder when it comes at you than when it's going away from you, but we're also going to change the frequency of the sound because of the Doppler effect. If the source of the sound is in motion, then we seem to get a varying frequency. And so your ear is going to have both effects applied to it, and it's a very interesting effect. Down here is the original label that came with the unit, and as you can see at the bottom, 1068, that agrees very well with the date of the speaker. Now, as to the stand that this is sitting on, I just took the simplest approach. I drilled holes in the corners that were the same size as these dowels, straight from Home Depot. Then I built a base. I took 2x4s and cut out an inlet for a sheet of masonite or particle board to fit in. Then drilled holes and sunk the dowels in so that it is supported top and bottom simply by these 4 dowels. Nothing else is in the way. Now, there's about 19 different advantages to this. I'll discuss just a few. Number 1, it's simple. Number 2, it's inexpensive. Number 3, there's nothing blocking the sound. Number 4, you can see the wheel moving. That's half the fun. Okay, there's a visual aspect to this, and it's important. And people that have never seen or heard a Leslie device before are knocked out by that crazy wheel. Why would you want to hide it? No grill cloth, no louvers, no fancy sides on this thing to complicate it and make it heavy and attenuate the sound. Just utter simplicity, and these make great handles when you want to carry it. Okay? Now I'll flip the power switch and you'll see that the motor starts up, the belt is now spinning, and the drum is rotating so fast that the little scoop opening is just almost like a blur. That's full speed. Now when I switch to the fan speed controller, we can have it run at full speed on the fan controller, or I can slow it way down to where we get a much slower type of tremolo effect. When you run it at full speed like this, it's almost a fluttering sound. It's really a very strange effect that I know if you've ever gone to church and or someplace where they had one of those big pipe organs, you've heard this effect before. And when a few of the chords I'm going to play are going to bring it back to you, the memory of it. But we'll try it fast and we'll try it slow. One other thing that's of concern is we don't want the speaker. You know, speakers put sound out in 2 directions. They'll put it out in the normal way with the concave side of the cone pushing the sound waves through the air at you. But the rear, the convex portion of the cone also puts out sound. We don't want to hear that because it's going to interfere with the effect of the sound coming out here. So what the original Leslie came and it had this soundproofing that they would drape over the top of this. Well, that's kind of unglamorous, and it doesn't work very well when you're trying to carry this around with this turned sideways. So this is first-class Stone Age craftsmanship. I just got a great big old paint pail and put the original soundproofing in it, and I just turn that upside down on top of the speaker, and it works great. I mean, I apologize. This is hideous. I mean, you would not, I can't imagine Eric Clapton in concert with his Leslie device having a bare premium paint can on top of it. But it works, and until I find something that works better, I guess that's the way it's going to be. Here we are, ready to go. The amp I'm going to use today is one of my homemade Danasonic. This is a little Princeton. It uses a very early Princeton chassis with a really nice 10-inch Jensen speaker. I unplugged the Jensen 8 ohm speaker from the output jack, and I have plugged in the Leslie speaker to the 4 ohm output jack, remembering that our speaker in the Leslie is a 4 ohm Utah speaker. Guitar just plugs in and we're ready to go. Okay, now I'll play a few chords with the little hamster wheel still, so you get an idea of just how it sounds with no Leslie effect. Okay, now we have the wheel running full blast. This is not using the speed control. This is just straight 110 to the motor. Pretty crazy effect, eh? Now let's slow it down. Okay, here we are at a much slower rotational speed. More like a tremolo, really, I think. Okay, here it is. It's sort of a medium rotational speed. If you listen to some of the old classic rock tunes by Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix, and you listen real close, you'll see that they used Leslie's a lot. I imagine they just lugged around that giant tone cabinet. They probably had roadies do it for them. And if you listen to some of the songs really close, I know Cold Shot, and there's a couple Jimi Hendrix songs that you can hear it once you listen, that kind of a fluttering high-speed tremolo effect. It's really a tremolo vibrato effect. This is really a very historically significant sound effect in both rock music and organ music. Well, on that happy note, I guess we'll take leave of the homemade Leslie device and the equally homemade Danasonic Princeton amplifier. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch and hopefully subscribe. And if you do stay tuned, I promise you many more videos of this sort featuring classic vintage amplifiers and some really goofy, crazy homemade stuff. So really, thanks a lot for taking the time to watch, and I hope to see you back again soon.